Good afternoon, and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this afternoon. Today is the 10th of January 2026. Already. Back in 2016, remember those days under Ronnie Dyler? On the 10th of January 2016, Celtic played at one of the furthest away grounds that I've ever went to. No, it's not. It was Stranraer. It was a fantastic game. Celtic played Stranraer in the Scottish Cup, and what goes down, it had to be one of the funniest episodes on Twitter ever, because as the Celtic buses drove down from all over Scotland, heading down towards Stranraer, Police Scotland decided to do a police check and stop buses and pull all the cargo off the buses. And whilst Police Scotland then went onto Twitter to show off their haul of cargo that was confiscated from buses, it then led to replies from Celtic buses that had got through and showed off their even bigger haul of cargo. It has to go down as one of the best away games that I've ever been to. There was a tidy little pub that we went to in Stranraer before the game, and there was also a few goals scored on that day. The scoreline was 3-0. Tell me in the comments section who scored that day. The first one was Lee Griffiths. Who scored the second goal and who scored the third goal without going on to any Google. But yeah, it was Lee Griffiths scored the first goal, and then there was a player that was brought into Celtic. The way that players were brought in, like pension stuff. But anyway, and he did come into Celtic and he scored the goal, and then there was another goal scored late on. It was a fantastic day. It was one of the best bus trips. The longer the bus trip in Scotland, the better. Right? You get better laughs, but it will go down there. I think there was just over 4,000 fans there that day, but it was absolutely brilliant. It was funny as anything, especially when all the buses are all lined up. The police are coming on, searching the buses. And what it did do is it allowed us to, because we were all in touch with each other, so you got a heads up. They're stopping at this point. Everybody hides their cargo. It was absolutely brilliant. So anyway, that's a little nod to the cap of the buses that will be travelling today, and you're not allowed to allow alcohol on the bus these days. So um, you know, you're not meant to. Make sure you hide your bottles and tins. But anyway, let's get on to some score predictions for today. Yes, it was Carlton Cole, Stevie B, who's went on to Google and sorted. It was Carlton Cole, and then it was Lee Griffiths that scored the final goal in the 84th minute. Lee Griffiths got the scoring started on the 18th minute. Carlton Cole scored it on the 42nd minute to go in half time at 2-0 away to Stranraer, and then Lee Griffiths scored in the 84th minute, which meant that Ronnie Dyler's team did get through to the next stage of the Cup, and it was a brilliant day, absolutely brilliant day. Loved that. It's a good memory to come up this morning. But yeah, it was a fantastic day. I always mind it. Cracking little stadium. Tiny. Absolutely tiny. And that is the joys of the Cup. Next week, Celtic will go back into Scottish Cup action against another small little team, funnily enough, on the west coast of Scotland. Can we get a 3-0 result next week? Well, let's hope that we do, and let's hope that we get a 3-0 result today. We need a 3-goal victory margin. Yes, we do that. We need to start scoring plenty of goals. Who will score them? Danny Cassie's in the house this morning. He says that he's going to go for his favourite scoreline, 3-1. Get into the mighty Celtic. I think that we do need to start scoring games, but is it as simple as Martin O'Neill coming back? Is it as simple when you look at the games before? If you remember, on the 17th of December, Celtic were beaten 2-1 by Dundee United up in Dundee when everyone was expecting a Celtic win, considering Celtic have scored quite a few goals up there in previous games. Other games today are Hibernia and Motherwell, which is it should be a 3 p.m. kickoff. Apologies why it's coming up 4 p.m. That seems to automatically set itself to Central European time. And then there's Livingston game also But we're not bothered about any other games in Scotland this weekend because it is all about what Celtic can do. And let's face it, Celtic do need to win. We need to score a few goals and just hope that everything else kind of keeps going our way. Can it go our way? Can we get any worse than what we are already? I don't think so. Why is that not doing that? Let me just do that. Stephen Kerr. There's no surprise, is there? No surprise. Right, the club will drop out the news. Looks a little bit cloudy at Celtic Park today. Some people are saying it's absolutely freezing. Let me jump. I'm going to go 3-0. Maida, Tenecti, and Forest Lake goal, says Danny Riley. Danny Riley used to run a bus. Danny Riley used to run a bus that I went on years and years ago. Kyogo hat trick. Oh, wait, it was a dream last night. Ha ha. Oi, oi, oi. And yes, and Kyogo hat trick and Jota comes on in the second half also. Don't talk rubbish. Don't talk rubbish. Your match day guide versus Dundee United. Celtic have put out the article onto Twitter. Does look a bit cloudy today. Now wait a minute, because when the picture was taken, there seems to be a lot of activity in the lower Green Brigade section, and it isn't covered off. Yeah, the 5% must be. Jed Johnson 4-1 today, says Jed Johnson. He's excited about today. Now Martin O'Neill is back. I think we are kind of excited that Martin O'Neill is back, but I'm just looking at the lower end of. That's not 111. Apologies. That's over where the boys' ultras sit. It's the wrong end of the stadium. They're not showing us the 111 covered seating section. I'm just going to go into some of the comments, see what people are saying. Sack the board, sack the board. Uh, 350 days and counting. Still waiting on a striker. 350 days. Almost a year since we sold Kyogo Furiashi. Better not see scales on that pitch. There's a major roof leak in this area. Get it sorted. New striker warming up? No, there isn't. Still a lot of anti-board sentiment on the Celtic posts. Let's hope its normal service resumes and we get new players on hopefully this week, onwards and upwards. It's been a long time since we've had normal service at Celtic Park, at Celtic at all. I'm going for a 3-1, 3-0 win. 3-0 win. James Gunn is going for 3-0. 3-0. Danny Cassie is in the house. And there's the league table. Like, we really need to see the league table today, of all days. But it's there, it's live on every game. So there's not a lot we can do about it. Let's just hope that Martin O'Neill picks a team that is capable of getting the desired result today. And let's hope the players turn up. Is Stephen Johnson on? I don't think so. He was on this morning. He has been around this morning. I can confirm that. But no, he's not been on. I've not seen him on yet. Paul reckons it's going to be 1-0 to Dundee United. Ooh, interesting. No, Stephen Johnson was up early this morning, so he may be away out to the hospital. I'm not too sure. But he was up and about early this morning. Who was it was asking for him? Tony. Yeah, Tony. Nah, he was up and about early this morning, so I'm not sure if he's got a hospital appointment today. 6.5 million for Bowie. Does that get you a jam roll with that? I don't know why people are getting excited about 6.5 million for Bowie because I mean we sold Kyogo Furiashi for 10 million. Martinelli's back is an improvement, but might not be enough. No, I don't think it's going to be enough. Um, just running through. The board have already conceded the title. This window will prove that. Do you know what? Wouldn't surprise me. It's been 5 years since we scored from a free kick. Is it as long as that? Personally, I'm dreading watching the team under. I dreaded watching the team under Nancy. Now with Martin will be back, it's great to look forward to the games. How are you, mate? How's things up the road? Are you up the road or are you back in the UK? We'll definitely lose one goal, so 2-1 with the late winner from Calmac. Calmac, the person, the captain that's not talking. The captain that's not talking to anybody. Is he about to leave Celtic? I think Martin O'Neill may be putting pressure on him not to leave, but could be a thing that he leaves in the summer. Don't know. It's like Martin O'Neill would be putting pressure on Carl Mack saying, "Look, you can't leave us in the middle of the season, mate. Do you know you're the captain of Celtic Football Club. It doesn't happen like that. You just don't leave." If you win nothing this season, no way it's Martin O'Neill's fault. It's on the board, in my opinion. Yes, 100%. It's now 8% Huns. Oh, and it is. There is a lot of poll going. Are you looking forward to the game now? Martin O'Neill is back as manager. There seems to be a lot of Rangers fans voting. No, they're not. Freezing offshore in Aberdeen, bud. Loads of snow here. Yes, I did see lots of snow up and down the country. We've got rid of the storm that passed last weekend and beginning of the week, and it's back to t-shirt weather. Kicking about outside with t-shirts again. It's great. Normal, as we say. Wasting money on Bowie, we can get far better. He's not good enough for Pinion. He's not good enough for Celtic, in my opinion. Jim, who is for that kind of money? This is the kind of money that you're going to have to spend, and Celtic fans are going to need a reality check. Um, Celtic fans are going to need a big reality check because I don't think that you're going to go out. I don't think that you're going to go out and bring in. I mean, it cost us 9 million for Adam Ida, and we sold him for 6 at a loss. Is Bowie better than Adam Ida? Some people will say yes. Some people will say no. Um, it's just it is one of those things. Engels is the big reason we are struggling. I wouldn't say it was one player. 3-1 and the ball dies and is going nowhere, says Danny Cassie. 6.5 board could get 3 players for Japan with that. Yeah, but there's not many. I think all the good players from Japan have been taken. I mean, we've just sent a player back to Japan. So I think that we can forget about that market. Hateo Inamura has now left Celtic after just coming in the summer, and he's went back to Japan. So, I think that we need to move on from that kind of market, to be perfectly honest. 2 minutes until the Celtic team is out. 2 minutes and calling. Previous scorelines: the 17th of December 2025, 2-1 to Dundee United. April, 5-0 Celtic. February, 3-0 Celtic. January, 2-0 Celtic. Same game, same time of year. 2 days later, can Celtic get a 2-0 victory over Dundee United at Celtic Park? Is it true that the Canadian boys turned us down? I don't think the Canadian midfielder, I don't think that we went in for him. Don't think that we went in for him. We need to spend money on Hibs striker. It's what is needed, in my opinion, says Paul Baird. and we have 1 minute to go until the team is out. 1 minute. The 1 minute countdown. Celtic are always late. They always put it out about 30 seconds later than what they're meant to, but we can see. Big deep breath for Martin O'Neill's first team since his last team. Is that him back today? He's been back since Tuesday, and it's his first team today. It's his first team. He's picking. Yes, he's picking the team. Watched Bowie for a few weeks ago. His assistance was poor. Of course, had a good few chances. I don't think he'd be a great buy for Celtic. I mean, I watched him that one game a couple of weeks ago. I watched him against Hearts, I think it was. There we go. The team that I said has happened. Wow. Celtic have made a few changes to the team that may or may not shock you. And I'll just get the team up on the screen now. Shock horror. There is your team this afternoon. Schmeichel starts. Arajo starts. Trusty starts. Scale starts. Tierney starts. That's the team that I said the other day. McGregor, Hatarti, Engels in midfield, as I said it was. Tenecti starts though. And Johnny Kenny's been dropped to the bench. Yang starts, Tenecti and Dyson Maeda. On the bench is Sinisalo, Benji Nigrin, Luke McCowan, Johnny Kenny, Paolo Bernardo, Dana Murray, James Forrest, young Colby Donovan, and Ralston's on the bench. That's a bold move by, and it just shows you that Wilfred Nancy gets one shot at bringing a player in, and he starts the next game. You got to feel a bit sorry for Wilfred, don't know. But it will be a solid 4-3-3. Arajo at the back, Trusty, Scales, and Tierney at the back with three in the middle. McGregor, Hatarti, Engels at either side, and then Yang on the wing, Tenecti on the wing, and Dyson Maeda through the middle. Dyson Maeda, how long will he be at Celtic? Looks like we are reverting back to the 4-3-3. Let's just hope it's not the side-to-side passing stuff that we got fed up of at the beginning of the season. This season will go down as a season where it'll be a case of who can remember how many different formations Celtic played. Why two right backs on the bench? And Ralston and Donovan. Maybe it's the only way that they could. It's only players that are fit. Maybe it says more about the fact that of the fitness of the players that that there's two right backs. I mean, Sinisalo. Why is Casper playing? Says Joseph. If you listen to what Martin O'Neill said, Martin O'Neill says that Casper Schmeichel did fine for him, and he's an experienced goalkeeper. And with that experience, sometimes you can have a bad patch. I just want him to get as good as he was the first time he was for me. Martin O'Neill was always going to go with Schmeichel. Always going to go with Schmeichel. What do you think the score is going to be? Haven't seen the team. I think that Celtic will win this 2-0. But then again, you never know. Starting keeper's Pish. I don't know why everyone's getting excited about the keeper starting, because he was always going to start. Martin O'Neill was never going to change the goalkeeper. He said it in his press conference yesterday that look, Hatate offers more than Engels. Do you think so? If Hatate's head goes down in the first, if his head goes down in the first half, it's hard to see how Hatate can stay on the pitch. But anyway, Paul Bears go for 3-1 Celtic. Give me your score predictions. Derek is going for 2-0 Celtic, and his one. Surprise 6-0. That'd be brilliant if it was a 6-0. I'm surprised Benji's not started. Martin O'Neill rates him, says Glasgow Rebel. Ramos says 3-1 for the Hoops. 3-1 says Simon. Hatate's been a ghost for about 5 months. Yes. Wow. Just Maida up front. That's the way it's going to go. Hatate had a good spell under Martin O'Neill. I think that Hatate is a bit like Marmite. You either love him or you hate him. He is definitely the Marmite player of Celtic Football Club, because there's a lot of players, there's a lot of fans that will. I mean, I think that one of the best things that Wilfred Nancy did was drop Rio Hatate for a game. We played fantastic that first half. If Hatate slows the game down, if Hatate keeps passing it back to Trusty, passing it back to Scales, not turning around and going forward, the fans will very quickly today jump on the back of Rio Hatate. And also Schmeichel. Schmeichel's one mistake away from being the biggest hate figure at Celtic since Peter Lawwell. The sports bar at Celtic Park is a joke. 45 minutes in the queue. Not anyone. It's a lot of folk coming out. 45 minutes in the queue, and they've not let anyone in. It would have been open. If they're not letting anyone in, it's because it's full to capacity. David's going for 4-1, 4-0. I don't know where we're getting all these goals for. Decent up front. Dundee United will park the bus. Yes, they will do. 2-1, says Super James World. Engels only plays about 10 minutes each half. So much for all getting back together and supporting Martin O'Neill and supporting the team. Just isn't happening, is it? 3-0 Celtic. Serious question: how many times will Hatate give the ball away today? I think if you're going to run a book, how many passbacks will Rio Hatate do to the defenders? I'm going to say 7 times. I'm going to say we'll run a book on it. I'm going to say 7 times that Rio Hatate will pass the ball back to a defender in the first half. I think the new manager bounce. I think we'll give him a scalping 4-0. It's not really a new manager bounce, is it? Benji or Yang? Benji on for Yang. Second half, if Yang does what Yang give us a 30-second show of brilliance against a certain team in the last game, and he seems to just disappear away from that. I think that if he can prove that he is the player that's in there, we've got a cracking player on our hands. 5-1, 3-1 Celtic, 3-0. Up the troops from Baltimore. Baltimore? That's a cracking part of the world. Chesapeake and all that, and all those crab cake things that you eat out in Baltimore. Pardon? Oh shit! Cracking part of the world, mate. I've been there a long time ago. Just about 23 years ago. Fantastic. Charlie, big shout out to Charlie from Baltimore. I love that. It's weird because when I was there, you're walking down, you're talking about what, 2001 or something. Two, can't remember. And must have been 2002. You know, walking down the road, and then it's just, I've got my Celtic top on. Somebody shouts, "Hey, all right, mate." That's fucking Jesus. Middle of nowhere. But anyway, that was a nice little memory. We all know the first 10 minutes, Rio's on his game. We'll know in the first 10 minutes, this is true. 6 points in the next 2 league games is essential before the cup game. Sorry, what does Engels offer? We need a good win today. A draw isn't any good. This is very true. A right winger on the right and a left winger on the left, and Dies Maida through the middle. All we need is a good striker to come off the bench because Johnny Kenny's not that. He's just not. He's not got it. Determined clean sheet today. A determined clean sheet. Oh, watch Engels today, folks. I bet he's nowhere near as good in midfield. Martin looking a bit frail. Maybe Schmeichel's offered to share pies with him. That's terrible. That's terrible. Get rid of Casper. The only reason he's getting a game of his second name. A lot of hate for the big keeper, but Martin O'Neill did say that he brings experience. Feel sorry for Stanisalo and Benji. How Schmeichel and Hatate are still getting picked is beyond me, says Stephen. I'm tired of people telling me the goalie is fat, says Charlie. Who's telling you? People online? Don't listen to people online, mate. Don't know. Go to a pub nearby, give the money to your business, and go to the sports. Yeah, no, so much for not another penny. Not another penny, and there's a queue to get into the sports bar. Not another penny campaign. 45 minutes to get into the sports bar. Ha ha ha. And then you've got people moaning about Casper Burger is. Oslo's in the house. Martin's giving those players one more chance. 9 letter champions. First morning I've had the Rebs on in months. Jesus. 4 at the back. A lot of people are excited about 4 at the back. Tonight he would be a great player if his final ball was better. We used to say that about Dies Maida. Funnily enough. We used to say that if Dies Maida could put away the chances that he created, if he could hit the ball in the back of the net like Kyogo, he would be a fantastic player. And it took until last season, so that was what, three seasons at Celtic, for Dies Maida to really click. And I think that people forget that. Do you know, whilst Dyson was fast and, do you know, he was good for Celtic, he wasn't a prolific goal scorer. His assists weren't up there where they could have been. Anyway, 22 for me, boys. 3-0 to Celtic. Nords, Celtic's going for 3-0 Celtic. How many times will Ingles pass back today? Well, I don't know. Maybe maybe they're having a hope. Felt like Baz Ferrac. Ferrac. 4-0 this morning. Incoming. Arajo looks impressive. With Arajo impressing. I hope so. What are you doing in Iraq? No, seriously. Mad Celtic fan just kicking about Iraq. Just shit happens. Tony's going for 12. 12 for me, Baz. I remember. It says pie taste. Yang gave us an entire half. Yeah, I did that. I'm going to apologies. I'm going to go right through the comments towards the end of the comments. January's broke today. That's the missus. If that's the board's fault. Who does It's impossible for me to do a dry January because you've obviously got Three Kings, which runs on until the 6th of January and stuff, and it's only now that we've got to the end of this week that everything goes back to normal. Fucking dry January is a load of bullshit. If Casper mucks up today, he shouldn't play unless Sinisalo gets injured. He's always making too many mistakes. Looks to blame others. Any keeper looks to blame others, though, don't they? They're never at fault. That's the keeper's code. The Basra CSC. Ay. Quarter pounder Casper. You're getting a lot of jokes going to him. Right, who do you think, now that we're seeing that the team and the changes that has been made, what do you think about Tony Ralston getting dropped? Arrojo coming into the team. Trusty Scales at the back. Tierney looks like a solid back four. Tierney will be on the same side as a winger that might actually listen to him today and give him reverse balls. I've got a lot of high hopes for today. It is obviously getting back to the flat back four at the five. Something that we weren't enamoured with. I think a lot of us were glad that we had left the back four and we went for this kind of three, but the manager managed to muck it all up completely. Cheeky bet builder, Engels penalty, worth a flutter. Engels penalty is always worth a little. I think Yang produced better numbers than Tenecti this season. Got laughed out. There's group chat when O'Neill came in saying this 2-1 Celtic Yang anytime. Do you think that Yang will produce better than Tenecti? He's been here longer. Like I just said about Dies Maida, it took him 3 seasons to become a prolific goal scorer for Celtic. And that, I think that was a one-hit wonder. Baz Daffabet will sound Bowie and Boyle. 2-0 Dundee United, difficult game. We are not at the races. Oof. Why is Casper not dropping? Celtic fans, in my opinion. I'd be shocked if we can keep a clean sheet. Yeah, keeping a clean sheet is going to be one of the. It's can Celtic ultimately do it? I would think so, but then again, Scales. Pope's in the house. Come on, the champions. 6-0 thrashing today. Show why we are champions. Don't believe it in January. It's total nonsense. Yes, it's complete absurd bull. It's like there's a dry October or something as well, do you know? And I'm like, piss off. Going to stop building up Yang is shite. I'm not building up Yang. I'm reading the comments. 30 seconds can beat my record. Nothing solid with Scales. I'm trying to stay positive for that one. Oh, she's in. Not another penny campaign has succeeded. People are going in and the bar at Celtic is full. Is it full? Obviously, because it took you 45 minutes to get in. Honestly, I don't know why Celtic are looking at a keeper. Sinisalo, Ross Dohan's good number 2. I think we always need a third choice keeper, and the fact that we've chased away so many of the potential keepers that were coming through the system at Celtic. We sold a keeper in the summer that I thought, loan him out for a season and he could be a good third choice keeper coming through. It's not the Celtic way. They just decide to let him go. Which is a shame. And I think that tells you everything you need to know about our B team situation. I'm going to jump straight to the end of the comments. Apologies if I've missed out your name. Afternoon, Baz. Celtic fans, on my way to the game. Let's see if we can get a loan from the Premiership. We've tried that, it didn't work. I think everyone's going to be surprised how rejuvenated the team will be under Martin O'Neill and Maloney. I think they will be rejuvenated, but when the players have been as bad as what they've been and they've been as up and down, it's going to be interesting to see if the players just get back into enjoying their football, because I don't think that the team has been particularly enjoying its football. That's to be said. There's a lot of players that looked as if they could just go, bugger this, I've had enough of Celtic, I'm off. But so are you looking forward to the game now Martin O'Neill was back? 89% say yes, 11% of the Rangers fans that are on the channel, hi. I've said no. 4-0 the Hoops, I've just seen coming in, say for Chris Mann, 4-0 the Hoops. I don't think Celtic will score 4 today, not a chance. Celtic have struggled in front of goals recently. I know that we scored a few under Martin O'Neill, but I just don't see us. If we click today and score more than 2 goals, I want to just see the performance improve. I mean, the performance was there for one half under the previous manager. To me, it's all about the first half. I think we kind of know what to expect from Celtic. It's all about how they come out and perform in the second half. Because over the last 5 weeks, we've had a team that's came out in the second half as if they've not known what they're doing. If they come out today in the second half and they improve as a squad, they improve as a team, as a unit, they do things better than they were doing in the first half. Yes, Martin O'Neill, Sean Maloney, Fozzie, and McManus are doing a fantastic job. And it just shows you how crazy the situation was with Wilfred Nancy coming in and trying to change everything that he did. Was just bonkers, absolutely bonkers. But Martin O'Neill knows that we've got a fight, and the fight starts today. The fight back starts today. Dundee United beat us last time out up in Dundee. Wilfred Nancy had to run the gauntlet as he went into the stadium up in Dundee, especially when the Green Brigade were up in that section just above the Tannadice Tunnel. It's going to be interesting. It is going to be interesting. Just reading some of these on. Thank God Ralston's on the bench. Maida in the middle. Getting supply will score a hat trick. I'm not too sure. Because Dyson's not had his shooting boots on. He's not had his shooting boots on. The fact that Martin O'Neill filled me with confidence. The board's actions so far in this transfer market has ripped it away. Still stand by Martin O'Neill in the team. I think a lot of us feel like that. I think that, I mean, Chris Sutton played a blinder by saying that, you know, Martin O'Neill's legacy will never be tarnished, even if we don't win anything. It won't be tarnished because the board have made a multitude of mistakes over the last 7 months. I mean, in fact, you can go right back to the beginning of the summer. I mean, you're talking 7-8 months that the board have made mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake. And whilst you could say that Paul Tisdale paid the ultimate price for some of those mistakes with his job being removed from his position, I don't think it went far enough. I don't think that. I think that whoever brought in Tisdale, needs to answer questions. I think that there's still board members on the board that have outlived their lifespan at Celtic, and that there is definite need for a fresh, new change. But we went down the road of fresh, new change at the same time as we brought in Ange Postecoglou, and certain people within Celtic did not like it. And that's the reality of this situation that we find ourselves in. This is why we're here today. We're here today, and this might sound a bit outrageous, but we are here today. We find ourselves here today in this position because people within the hierarchy at Celtic Football Club did not like Dominic Mackay. And by forcing Dominic Mackay out of Celtic and regaining the status quo, we should have questioned more. We should, even though we were winning, we as fans need to take some responsibility, because the day that we got rid of Dominic Mackay was forced out of Celtic, we never asked questions. We allowed the board to get on. Everything was fine because Ange's football was great. It's the form we have found since Ange's been around. The board are rubbing their fucking hands. They got away with it. They've been doing it in plain sight of Celtic fans since Ange Postecoglou came in. You know, we believed the hype that Ange was going to stay. Look back to that picture when, at the beginning, in the entrance of Celtic Park, where the two of them are total disbelief that Ange Postecoglou would not sign this new contract to Celtic that was put in front of him. I think if we had kept and retained Dominic Mackay, things would have been a lot different at Celtic. Completely different. But we'll never know because he was chased out. I'm not hun, but I'm more nervous than excited about the game today. Does anyone ken where I'll be able to watch the game today? Um, no idea. It depends where you are. I mean, it's just maybe come out for behind your sofa. Maida will score today. Will Maida scores today? I like Ralston. Good attitude. Um, don't care who scores as long as we win. Get a couple in. Well, we need more than a couple today, but who scores first? Says Anton Rogan's left foot. I'm going to say either Yang or Tenecti. No, maybe Dyson Maida. You've got to put Dyson Maida first goal, wouldn't you? Depends. I think that it depends how Celtic start the game. It really does. Just reading says Reddit soccer streams, but be careful about pop ups. There you go. Or you might be able to get it on camel.one live if you're doing the online thing. Shows signs that the board look unprofessional. What do you mean look unprofessional? We spoke about it this morning. I mean, we went cap in hand to a club that publicly slated us in the summer for being unprofessional. If I was Birmingham, as soon as you got that thing, who would have? Well, there was rumours. I'll come to that in a minute, Chris. As soon as Celtic made an approach for Kyogo Furiashi, if I was Birmingham, I would say don't give them a reply. Childish, I know, but that's what Celtic did to Birmingham in the summer. They never answered the phone. Michael Nicholson was never there for a phone call to confirm that the deal was done. Birmingham should have just strung Celtic along. But they're a professional outfit. They said, "Well, ask the player." The player said, "No." Simple. End of conversation. We move on. But if I was Birmingham, anybody at Birmingham, I would be like, "Fuck, who do these clowns think they are?" Who had appointed Tisdale? Well, there's a lot of chat that Tisdale was appointed on a golf course or some wedding do. There's a lot of nonsense goes about, but I'm not too sure. It would have been obviously the hierarchy at the club. You're talking Dermot Desmond may have had an input. A lot of people say that Dermot Desmond, it was he got him the job. It has to come down to Nicholson, Chris Mackay, who would have ultimately been in if there was an interview stage at all. I'm not too sure if there was an interview stage or nobody knows. That is the reality. There's a lot of speculation online that Tisdale was appointed because he was at a family wedding of Dermot Desmond and he got talking at this and he said, "Oh, would you like a job at Celtic?" "Yeah, I'll just make a fucking job up out of thin air and we'll get Paul Tisdale in." That's nonsense. But the same people online have been saying that Jota was coming back this month. Martin O'Neill confirmed Jota is nowhere near coming back. Nowhere near. When Jota went out injured at the beginning of the season, it was expected that he was going to be out to the later parts of the season. They were talking about March at the earliest. They said if he's lucky, he'll get back for the last 2 months of the season, if he's lucky. But then Celtic fans just say, "No, he's coming back in January. I've heard it for a source." Martin O'Neill pulled cold water on that one yesterday, didn't he? Given that Martin O'Neill already knows the team, I could call today a must win. If not, we need to move on. What, move on from Martin O'Neill already? One game in the door, and he's like, nah, Martin, you're not doing it. More points dropped at home. The league, um, no more points dropped at home in the league. Simple as. Um, the puppet master Baz, come on, he's the real cause of everything. He is the puppet master, and the people that are underneath him, the people that run the club, are just puppets. But until we have someone that's going to offer him 100 million for his shares or something ridiculous, I mean, I think the value of his shares is something, I don't know, I've no idea, 35 million or something. I don't know. Until we have someone that has more shares in Celtic than him, for some, or you have a board that grow a set of balls and do what board are meant to do, not what the biggest shareholder says. And he's not even owner. That's what makes it worse. More than 50 votes on the poll. Brutal. It's because they love the channel. 569 votes. And are you looking forward to the game? Now Martin O'Neill is back. 89% say yes and 11% say no. The bench looks poor. 2-0. Does the bench look poor? McCowan, he could strike from range. Johnny Kenny. Is Johnny Kenny? Paulo Bernardo. We've ruined Paulo Bernardo. We've completely ruined Paulo Bernardo as a player. Come in and did fantastic. He's meant to be thinking, why did I come back here this year? Dane Murray, you've got to have youngsters on the bench, and it's the same with Donovan. I'm not going to criticise those two players because we don't have a youth system where you're bringing through young Scottish blood. Martin O'Neill would love to have 3 or 4 young players that have came through the system at Celtic on the bench, and then 3 or 4 players that can make a big difference. The reality of the situation is we're still relying on James Forrest 17 years later. After this season, James Forrest won't be on the bench. That's sad. But I'm sure that someone will come on. And I mean, if you're looking at people to come on in the second half, where is Balak Wisher? Balak Wisher's not even on the bench. Tenecte's on the bench, and Tenecte was meant to be absolutely rotten at the African Nations Cup. He was meant to be brutal, but he's walked straight back into this team, which is bonkers. Why was Mackay gone? A mystery. He wasn't in the in club. Family. He wasn't in the family. He was a good Celtic man that knew business inside out, but because he came from a rugby background and he didn't get on with, I think he had a clash with Peter Lawwell. I think it was a clash of the Titans. And when there's a clash of the Titans like that, Peter Lawwell always wins. But glad he's gone. DD is responsible for everything. Get over it. Some of Ange football was dire. Yes, it was. Good evening to Ray Ray in Vietnam. It's great. We've got Baltimore, USA, and we've got Vietnam on the one post. Talk about geopolitics of Americans just taking over parts of the world for shit and giggles. 3-0 to Celtic, says Ray Ray. It's been a hard week and deserve a drink. Hashtag not another penny. That's the biggest wind up yet, isn't it? 45-minute queue to get into the Celtic bar. Not another campaign, not another penny, not another penny. Do you think that Martinez will be the next manager? I don't even want to think about manager for next season. We'll start talking about that if we're out the Scottish Cup, if we're out Europe, and if we're 9 points behind in the league. Then we'll start talking about new manager. Because we'll have to. Martin O'Neill will be given to the end of the season, but the Celtic board, with all reality, it's just a case of heads down just now. The Celtic board won't even be thinking about the manager appointment in the summer And you're going to say, that's crazy, chat, though. Then why not? Well, they've got a lot on their hands just now. They should be completely focusing on the football club, getting in players for Martin O'Neill, and just trying to get through the next month, which is ridiculous as it sounds, but we are a club now in firefighting mode. We've never been a forward-thinking, progressing club in a long time. But Andrew's found that in Europe, same as most managers we've had. Yes, and then we hire a manager that we think can do it in Europe, and he can't even do it in the league. That's the worst part of that, wasn't it? This guy's got to the Champions League final in North America. Fucking yes! Finally got somebody that can do it in Europe. Defeat after defeat after defeat after defeat. how how could we have got it so wrong? How could there's no use talking about it, but how could Wilfred Nancy have got it so wrong? Really glad to see our aging keeper between the sticks. Benji will score first. Will he? From the bench? An illegal goal? We looked pure on fire first half last week. Yes, we did, Charlie. Coming out of Baltimore, we looked fantastic last week. And it was like, wow, we just needed to put the ball in the back of the net, which we didn't. It would have been a completely different game if Dies Maida puts the ball in the back of the net. Johnny Kenny puts the ball in the back of the net. Luke McCowan puts the ball in the back of the net. You know, there was umpteen chances, but we didn't do it. Lorna has been having a little bit of time out due to a family situation. She did inform us of that, and not this channel, but she did inform me that she was taking some time out because she'd had a bereavement within the family, and she is still watching some of the videos, but she's just taken some personal time out, so she is fine. But as you would expect, sometimes you just got to reevaluate what you're doing on a daily basis. I think there was a bit of a rumble, as you say, fans touch. And I got another Yang goal. There we go. Yang is Yang in. I got another Yang goal. Baked Tatty with Screamer for the opener. Do you think the Baked Tatty will get of it? Yes, I'm doing a watch along. It's all set up and ready. You like Ralston? He's rotten. Every time he gives the ball away, we concede garbage. Do I don't like Ralston. Do you watch it? Do you watch the stick that I gave Ralston? Hatati first goal, you heard it here. Oh, Jesus. Another Yang goal was on the bet. 2-0. Celtic not convinced about Tenecti. Well, neither was his nation country after his exploits in the African Nations Cup, but he's walked straight back into the team. Martin O'Neill, Engels alongside McGregor. Last time here worked well with Hatati further up. Aaron Engels did play that holding midfield role beside Callum McGregor. Could Martin O'Neill change the formation to a 4-2-3-1? That's far too many players. I mean, will he change the formation to the 4-2? Got DJ bit there. No idea. I'm going to wait to see. The board are very unprofessional. Just yes, men. Of course they are. Of course they are. 2-1 Celtic. Who was that? That was Helen. Tenecti needs gone and all the dross. Well, that'll leave us with nobody. That'll leave us with nobody. Tisdale came in under Brendan. Yeah, but who brought him in? I think that was the question. But anyway. Was he not Dermot Desmond's caddy? Oh, God. Wanted Keel back, but when I think about it, is he much better where he is? No, it was Gavin Strachan's wedding. People are just making stuff up tonight. They're just completely making stuff up. Just be thankful Tisdale's going. Yes, end of conversation. CCV is finished, says Jim. Oh, Macclesfield in the new team like Sevies. 3-1 Celtic. Last time we see Jota was a photo of him sitting at the bottom of a swimming pool. He's been seen at Celtic games over the last couple of weeks, sitting up in the stand beside Cameron Carter-Vickers. The One Football app says that we've got a 3-4-2-1 formation. So I was right then. I think that it will be because that's how we played when Martin O'Neill was here before. The board have already written this season off. Tierney, Scales, Trusty, back three again? Nope, because you've got a little South American player, Araujo, who is playing there. The bench is awful. Comments are top banter. I think Smichael's been on the Vody Oranges. Vody Oranges? You can't eat a tennis ball though. I have no idea what the comments are. Tuck your flares into your socks and just get the tins down your trouser legs. What on earth? 3-1 Celtic, 4-0 Cert today. When you look at the scorelines that we've had in the past, that is the league table. And hopefully that changes today with Celtic jumping way up. When you look at the other games that are on today, Celtic do have an opportunity to close the gap today, and it will be interesting to say the least. Today's games at 3 o'clock kickoff as Celtic Dundee United, Hibernian and Motherwell. Motherwell are breathing down Celtic's neck as Hibernian. Livingston versus Kilmarnock. St Mirren versus Falkirk is the other games that are on today. And then tomorrow, you've got Dundee versus Heart of Midlothian. Dundee beat Dundee United last time out. And then you've got Aberdeen Rangers, the return. And Aberdeen are in complete free fall. So there is the team up on the screen. Tierney, Scales, Trusty, Araujo at the back. Arnie Engels, McGregor sitting in front of them. Tenecte, Hatate and Yang sitting in front with Dyson Maeda. Dyson Maeda sitting further up. And there is the 3-4-3 of Dundee United. And they managed to play 3-4-3 against Celtic the last time and came out victors against Celtic, who were playing a 3-4-3 also. It just shows you that teams can play this system. A lot of people are saying that, we don't have the players to play it. But Dundee United, I mean, they'll say that they're having a reasonably good season, sitting in 7th position in the league. Their goal tallies might say otherwise, and their goals against might say otherwise. But when you look at the score lines, in the 8th of January 2025, a year ago, 2 days ago, it was a year and 2 days ago, it was 2-0 to Celtic. I'm going to go for a similar score line to that, because I think that it's about all that we could do at Celtic. Which, Michael? Want this win for Fozzie, what a man. Yeah, 5-0 Celtic. 5 years ago was the last time we scored from a free kick. Who was it? I can't get the 5-4-3-2-1 advert out of my head. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can we put Casper's dad in? Baz, it's like half bottle. Half bottle body into a Bovril. No, you got to get a Vody Bovril. A Vody Bovril. Get it right. Take a wee quarter bottle into your Bovril. That was started in 2010, 11? 11? I can't remember. It was a long time ago. Wonder how Paul's doing. Anyway, can't believe Schmeichel is an option. He's done. Sinisalo should be first choice. I think that we've went over that just a bit. Can he beat in Pine Bovril? So much for the Not Another Penny campaign. Take any result for Celtic today? Yes, I would. No worries. Cousin, just a wee Schmeichel. Scorers in this order: Hatate, Maeda, then Yang. It's at Celtic Park. I would take Callum McGregor for a midfield one today. I would take Callum McGregor for a midfield one. There's still a chance we don't even finish fourth. Don't want to even think about that. The league position doesn't lie. We've just got to get on with it. I've been trying to find out the last time we scored for a free kick. Any idea? 4 years ago, or somebody says Vode Bovril. It is Rogic. Was it Tom Rogic? It sounds awful. It's absolutely fantastic. Seeing a day like today, where it's maybe about 2 degrees at Celtic Park. There's nothing better. Trust me. Even at away games, there's nothing better than a wee Vody Bovril just to take the edge off the game and heat you up in one go. I've got to try the Vody Bovril. I'll get the Vody Bovrils making a back. Yes, it was St. Stixis. Paul. That's who started the Vody Bovril back in the day. It's good that you remember that, mate. It's good that you remember that. Yes, I had many a Vody Bovril with St. Stixis. He was a good lad. He was a good one. Normal sized Dane. BBC Radio Scotland. Tomato soup and Vody. Would be a hot Bloody Mary. Right, you're all talking absolute nonsense now. Absolute nonsense. Right, what time is it? It is half an hour until kickoff. I am going to go and get ready for the. No, I'm going to stay on a bit because there's 800 people currently watching live, so I should really stay on another 10 minutes or so. It's a kebab pie and bovril for about £5. Jesus. Half bottle of tonic, one of the things I miss. Can't get it here. Ooh, can you not? Yeah, of course you'll not get it over there. Jota, Cameron Johnson, Carter Vickers are all finished. Halo Baz time for summer football. Yeah, summer football. Celtic TV is on. There we go. Time for me to disappear. And I shall see you for the watch along. I'll finish off the vote. We've had 677 votes. 677 votes. Are you looking forward to the game? Now Martin O'Neill is back as manager. 89% say yes, 11% say no. And on that note, I shall see you just in around about 15 minutes time. Have a fantastic day. If you're going to the game, wrap up warm, give them hell. And I don't mean just the boards.